Yeah. uh-huh. Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CC's, pounds. Close cash, close call, close encounter, close up. Pounds of leaders of grams, get your dosed up. Cut this up, post up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the movement, make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk they can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in them trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that true serum hooked directly through your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch it close up, close up, close up, a close up, grams of it, tune leaders of it, close up, pounds of it, pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, leaders of pounds, get you dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up. Dosed up. Get dosed up. Dosed up. Dosed up. Dosed up.
Yeah, hey, nah. You know, I like that, playing with a little in and out, in and out. All right, so hey, you know what I'm saying? It's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. Dose. We got my boy Chezzy to my right. We got Lab right there, and this is Dosed Up. So let's get it started. So I already know Chezzy got something loaded for y'all for his weekend, so let me get mine on out the way with the weekend recap, because I'm actually kind of curious and interested more into what he had going on. So for my weekend recap, man, I just went to the gym a little bit because I still got this challenge that I got going on. So I knocked out a bunch of reps, did what I wanted to do there, and then after that, man, since my mom went out of town, I just spent some time with my pops. Saw about him, you know what I'm saying? Kind of catered to him a little bit. Made sure he took his meds and things like that, and just kept him awake by some good conversation and watching a movie or two.
That's most important.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up.
All right, so it's on you now, Chezzy, man. Go ahead and let it fly.
Yeah, man. So this weekend, man, I was in the great state of Texas, in the city of Houston, for the Black Rodeo, man. And so yeah, man. Man. Went out and checked out the rodeo, and it was also Bun B's birthday, so he had a concert out there this weekend after the rodeo. So
did you have a trio burger?
I had a Trill burger.
Oh.
I had a Trill, man. Diet went to shit. Man. So yeah, but Trill. Okay, so Trill burger was good.
Okay.
Trill burger was good, but I don't know, like, cause I'm a big hamburger guy.
Mm-hmm.
Vortex way better.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's kind of like Trill is mass. Excuse me. Trill is mass production, so
okay, yeah.
They making them like pop, but the burgers are good though. They kind of they kind of infuse, or they make the burgers with cheese whiz, like already like on them. So it's not.
You said cheese whiz?
Cheese, but it's not your average, ordinary, everyday cheese. It's a high price. You know what I'm saying?
They lost me with that whiz, bro.
So yeah, but it was pretty good. But it's not like like I said, Vortex, man. They massage the burgers and they
marinate that thing or something.
But definitely just seeing a part of our culture and history now that's becoming more prevalent, I guess, since Beyonce with her whole little thing, and what's the guy's name, Shabuzi guy, and a couple of other people that are prevalent with the country music, man. Like there's real cattle and rodeo, like horse riding, and just all of that stuff inclusive. And Bun B's concert was phenomenal, man. He had Atlanta like represented to the fullest. They're not necessarily from Atlanta, but he had Keith Sweat there.
Okay.
He had T.I. was there. And he had Luda there.
Did he do anything off of Riding Dirty? Or he just did Bun B stuff?
He did Diamonds of Wood, man.
Okay. I'm talking about that. That one day you're here and then you're gone type and all.
He did like two songs, man, like off of he did Murder.
Okay, see, I was just about to try to stay away from that title.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The song. The song. Yeah, but he did that.
Man,
he did Diamonds and Wood. That was a pivotal that's one of my top 10 CDs of all time. But just seeing how a different place lives, man. Houston is a really. I used to live out there a long time ago, but like it's a nice progressive spot. Like really progressive. One thing I didn't see, and I'm sure it possibly could have happened. For all of it, and it was like at the rodeo at the concert, it was 70,000 people in there. I didn't see any fights. I didn't see anybody tripping. I didn't see none of that, which this could allude to it a little bit. I think they kind of let you smoke freely in Houston, because when we were inside, people were just rolling up, and security wasn't bothering them. And I'm like, Atlanta, man, they'd be all on your top.
They be doing it anyway in Atlanta.
Anything, but out there, people were just, it was kind of so. But yeah, I had a good time, man. Black Rodeo, man. If you all ever get a chance, I think they got one coming up in Atlanta, not Atlanta, but a surrounding county. This coming weekend, I think they got one coming up, man. So yeah, man. If you kind of interested, man, go check that out. So that was my weekend, man, and I get into this last little bit. Well, I'll get into it when we talk about today's topic. But flight, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about this flight thing, man.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
But it's gonna tie.
I gotta catch one coming up.
Yeah.
You didn't have no heavy ass turbulence, did you?
Man, on the way back.
Oh,
man,
on the way back, you said your prayers.
Shouts out to the captain.
You swallow the rosary on the way back.
Shouts out to the captain, because he told us, he was like, "Yo, I'm telling y'all, it's about to get real." Whenever they tell flight attendants to sit down. You don't get up no more. This is a wrap. Ain't no more passing out no snacks and nothing. It's over with. So yeah, man. I
must have gone through a storm or something.
I think we were coming here. I think we were coming through a storm last night. But yeah, man, it was, and I'm pretty even keeled, because I've flown a lot over the years, but I was holding on to the. I'm holding on to the seat like that's gonna do something, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a rough flight, but so I had a good time, man. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the business. So, my bad, Lab. What you do this weekend, man?
I'm good.
Oh, you Gucci? Okay, okay. All right.
I just wanted to hear what you had to do.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing.
Okay, cool. Hey, sometimes those are the best weekends.
Right.
So pretty much we're gonna talk about then versus now, and then versus now, like all the aspects that we can think of that are either different. Some are better, maybe some might be worse, but from I guess when we were growing up, or certain things that it doesn't necessarily always have to be way back to our youth either. It could just be pre Y2K, things like that. But speaking of that, that's a then versus now. Like then we didn't have Y2K, now we do. You know what I'm saying? We're in the midst of it. All right. But one of the things that I have would be like parenting. All right, I'm used to, or I can remember the then when you had, like you're saying, the Cosby shows and the Jeffersons, things like that, where they tried to have like both parents in the home, where you could discipline a person or something similar to that. And now we've gone to, it's just the norm of single parenting, almost like it's supposed to be like that. Lack of discipline with the kids, lack of patience. I remember, my parents had a little bit more patience than we do now. It just seems like everything is oriented to get the kid out of your face, as opposed to making sure that child has something creative or constructive to do when it comes to that.
Agreed. Yeah, I totally agree with that. As a parent myself. It's definitely different. I try to incorporate some of the things, a lot of the things my parents did with me, but it's a different time. It's a different age, and it's a girl. I have a girl, and I'm a dad. Right. So that's a totally different element. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, right there too. But it's a lot different, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. I had a fabulous 2-parent household. the element of the 2-parent household is I think, you know, and I'm not saying it's bad if you didn't grow up that way, but I think it's sorely missed.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna like try to say this in a bad way, but a man, and it's just something about having a man in a household, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's prevalent, or that is missed, because I mean I see, you know, I see young girls too, but I was just telling somebody the other day, a lot more on the angle that I know young girls or young women that are in high school or college, they be about their shit. You know, a lot of them that I know, it's these boys, man.
So the boys be on different
man, these boys just be on demon time, man. They be rough, man. You know what I'm saying?
They have idle time, and they don't know what to do with the idle time because they didn't have a pops to put them onto either some kind of game, something constructive, or something to do with yourself. Like when I had idle time, I was mischievous with it. You see what I'm saying? But I got a brain and a mind too, so you know I'm thinking things. I'm thinking of the consequences and repercussions of what I might do, though. You see what I'm saying? Plus, once again, if you do, like Mitch was saying, if you have that father, that figure, like he ain't out there doing what I was doing.
Exactly. You got somebody to look at.
And somebody that can discipline your ass when you do get out of line. So
you grew up in a 2-parent household.
Yeah. With a brother too, a older brother, and it's like I'm the opposite of everything that's in that household. But I still understand you do need a father figure. It doesn't have to be your dad. It's just got to be an older male to show you the ropes. I mean, we're comfortable with letting the women be nurturers, and we're comfortable. Like, I ain't never said I don't need no women in my life. My daughter doesn't need a woman, you know what I'm saying, to help raise her. I don't see the men really saying that. It just be the women like, man, I don't need that nigga in my house. You know what I'm saying? Or I can do it on my own. And I'm not the type that abandon someone for you to prove that you can do it on your own. You won't be doing it on your own if it's my child.
Well, I didn't grow up in a 2-parent. Well, let's put it this way. I didn't grow up in a 2-parent household, but I was lucky enough to be raised with my grandmother and grandfather and my 9 uncles and aunts. So,
one of them uncles gonna put it to you if they had.
Right. So it was a different situation because I was so close to my youngest uncle, my uncle who was the youngest in the family. I was so close to his age because my mom is the oldest. Well, mom is the oldest of all the kids, and then you know they had a younger son out of the 9, and I was close to his age, so I was kind of raised like their brother. I wasn't really raised like their nephew, but you know, it was just, and in that scenario, I had different people to teach me different things. You know, I had an uncle who was, you know, in the martial arts. I had another uncle who was in the streets, so he would tell me about the street. And I had another uncle who was in the creative and all this other stuff. So I had a good spectrum of things.
You had Thanksgiving dinner every day when the family come, and it be this kind of uncle, that kind of uncle.
You have all different kind of, you know, all kind of different, you know, attributes, and they all had different type of attitudes that they displayed. And it was just, you know, I think back to when I was growing up, when I was younger. It was just a different. And don't get me wrong, I was a little terror when I was younger. I wasn't.
What's up, Dre?
I was a terror, but I was one of them smart terrors. Like I didn't want to get caught doing that, but I would do a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Man, well,
like you.
Speaking of that, growing up, man, I remember youth fights, right? So if we fought, man, I literally have been in the circle before. Like they literally formed a circle around my ass with my opponent in there, and I mopped his ass. But what I was saying is, you had to fight. Like you used your hands. Next thing you know, you back at you where you at it. You know, come back next day. There was a time, I'm man enough to admit this, I tried to fight somebody older than me. Black my eye. All right. But the next day I came back, I got respect from him. Right. Next thing you know, I'm hanging with the older folks because I had enough guts to fight this man. Okay, there been times I had to go get my brother. Okay, because you got your brother. Now it's 2-on-2. We neutralize. But now, it's an argument. You ain't even breaking the fist out. Yeah. If you say something wrong, look at somebody wrong. They got them switches.
First. No, so it's going down.
I think
Now?
a lot of that, and we was talking about this earlier. I think a lot of that has to the sensitive
Desensitization.
desensitization
Yeah.
of things to violence. Like now, like it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
It's everywhere. Like it's a guy on Instagram. He's got a page, or just endless page. It's funny because he's playing like slow music in the background, but it's a GTA, and you know what I'm saying. It's just
Right.
going through all these scenarios on the GTA thing, and I'm like, man, this is what these kids are playing and looking at all day. They think this is real.
Watch this. You said desensitized, right?
Yeah.
And
What up, Mitch?
I look at it like this. I'm kind of half and half with that because I remember before this phone, right? Remember when they had this videotape out or like a VCR? It's like thank you about 6 million ways to unalive yourself, all these other things, and people were cringing at. Like you really didn't want to see that. Like that was for hardcore for a specific few. I know because I can remember I seen a head flap back, bro. From an M16 or something. I'm like, whoa, I ain't want it like that.
I heard about it, but I never watched.
See,
I watched the first two, but it was like 13 of them.
Man.
I watched the first two, but after a while, as you get older, you start saying, well, how they catch all this stuff?
But yeah.
Then as you get older and then the tapes get more and more, you start noticing like that wasn't real. So
some of it
was, but like half the video wasn't real. After on number 13,
see, I don't know about all that.
13,
I'm looking at like
to me it was all movie sets. Stuff,
yeah,
so.
but see, did you see the ones in third world like countries?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the first 1, 2, 3, and 4, like third world countries, certain things people eat and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the thing is people can say they desensitized until it really pop off right there near you, or until you have to be forced to look at something that you didn't expect to see. And then it's like, because I know with me, like, well, I don't really care for a lot of the algorithm stuff that be popping on my line. Like you said, you might want to detox from social media. And it's like, so I'm trying to not click on things, not search for certain things, not look at them to weed it out of what actually pops up. Because it's like, I mean, there are certain things, man, like, I just don't want to keep seeing it because I see things already in real life in real time. So I don't want to traumatize myself by looking at images that I don't necessarily need to be looking at.
Yeah, I think back then we didn't necessarily have the TV babysitting us or the phone babysitting us when we were growing up back then versus now. Back then, we did watch TV. But we wanted to go outside more than anything.
Absolutely.
We wanted to be outside more than anything.
You wanted to be the content or create whatever you were going.
Having to stay inside. I was just telling somebody, like, I remember when I got my first video game, but having to stay inside and play the video game, that was like rain. It was either raining outside or I was on punishment and I couldn't go outside.
Right.
But
we
now
wanted to be outside back then.
Man.
We like not being able to go outside. On a Saturday morning, or after the cartoon. Let's put it after the cartoons went off. Not being able to go outside back then was like torture. Like,
do you? So I'm. It's funny you brought that up. I looked into this a couple of weeks ago. So they don't have Saturday morning cartoons at all anymore.
No more.
Well, that's because you can go on the Cartoon Network and you can go on demand and
even beyond that, they said it's because the people who make the cartoons or the creators of the cartoons, they can't pay for ads. Like now, you got to pay for the commercial cost is so much.
Right.
You can't. You know what I'm saying? So they were just like, might as well end it. Kids ain't really watching cartoons no more. No way like that. You know what I'm saying? On the Saturday morning.
But then y'all used to love watching cartoons.
Oh man, it was an event
after school.
I mean, that's your time. You know what I'm saying? That was something that was geared towards you.
That's how you unwind.
All the commercials, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's all psychological, bro. Like
we were learning stuff back then on the commercials. Remember, like Schoolhouse Rock and I mean, we learned things during the commercials. I watch a lot of old commercials now on YouTube.
One to grow on.
Yeah, like and the commercials, even the commercials.
Reading Rainbows.
Yeah, the commercials back then, like you take a 30-second break, or like ABC used to have a 30-second break, like today we're gonna learn about such and such. They will teach you about a certain person in 30 seconds, and then go on to the cartoon or what. They don't even do any of that stuff now.
No,
I agree. One of my homeboys said being desensitized is a way to cope with the trauma of seeing things.
I agree.
No, man.
All things,
like,
not some things in your life it is.
Yeah, some things.
What? Because a lot of the things that they putting in front of us that make us desensitized is not something that we're requesting. So that means you forced to look at something. That means you mind control rather than desensitized.
What about if you've seen it like in your household a lot? I'm not gonna necessarily jump into some things that I like. I'm not gonna necessarily say like it was like Little House on the Prairie in my house. I mean, you know what I'm saying? My parents was just like anybody else's parents. When they argue, you know what I'm saying? But as I got older and I'll just say, you know what I'm saying, I matriculated and moved on. Seeing a man and a woman get physical, I had never seen it. And it for a moment it traumatized me. After a while though of seeing it happen with multiple people, I'm not gonna say it desensitized me, but I'm just like,
what do you mean? Are you talking about sex or are you talking about domestic violence?
I'm talking about domestic violence.
Okay, so here's the thing. If it were to go down right now and somebody were to take a hammer and hit somebody with it, would you be desensitized to that or would you be like, oh shit?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh shit.
Okay then, so all right.
But this is hold on.
So you might used to something doesn't always mean that you won't be sensitive
Stay
to
with
it.
me,
It
stay
just
with me.
means you see it.
Stay with me now. So what I'm saying in regards to that is desensitized, right? I can remember some years ago, I was riding a train, and it was a dude and a girl. They were sitting with each other, just sitting with each other, and this was Valentine's Day. As a matter of fact, I'll never forget this. They were sitting with each other, and they were arguing and these were younger. They were younger than me. They were probably like still like maybe 16, 17. So he's like, jacking the girl up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like at that edge to like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I can't, you know what I'm saying? It's just not, you know what I'm saying? Even though happenstance, or most people are gonna tell you, hey, don't you goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Don't get involved in that. But before, you know what I'm saying? Like right when I'm about to, another guy, you know what I'm saying? He said something, and the guy just like, you know what I'm saying? This our business, you know what I'm saying? Quit, but it's a train full of people. Me and the dude, the only two people willing to say something is everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
They could be scared.
Not sensitive to the situation.
Nah, some of these niggas scared. They scared. They ain't got no hands-on skills. You don't know what buddy might do to you. You see what I'm saying? It's not that they desensitized. It's they just don't want to get involved because they don't want the repercussions of what may happen if you misjudge what the situation is about.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could look at it that way, but to turn your head from that and act like ain't nothing happening.
They don't. Okay, so if you desensitized us, you gonna watch it. You gonna look at it like TV. To turn your head away from it, you don't want to see it.
Nah,
bro.
they was watching. But
Then
they was watching.
All right, but they want to see what's going on. But sometimes you watch because you want to see somebody pull something out. You want to be able to react.
Yeah.
I mean, you just want to. People are aware of their surroundings, bro. That don't always mean that they agree or that they necessarily are used to that. What they gonna do? What go somewhere? Like you stuck on the train. I fought on the train before. Seriously, bro. And I mean, like, what the folks on the train gonna do? But wait till we get through, or when the next stop come, get up off that thing, which is what I did. But that shit going down, bro. And then nobody broke it up either. So you know what I'm saying? My thing is, at some point, would it buddy wanted somebody to break that thing up?
So wild like that, man. I don't know. Like I'm the guy that probably would have I just be wild. Maybe not as much now, but might be 49 in October. The 30 to 35 minutes, I'd probably like try to break that thing up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but nowadays I agree with those. You gotta be careful, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You gotta be careful what you do, especially when it comes to domestic violence, because if something happened to that guy that you're trying to get, break it up, or he fall hit his head, then the girlfriend gonna turn on you most times.
Oh, absolutely.
So you gotta.
And now you involved in active stuff.
Right.
If somebody put a case on somebody, you a witness. You done got involved.
When the guy spoke up, you know what I'm saying, after him and the dude was getting into it, she did. She said something to the guy. You know what I'm saying? She was like, don't say nothing to him. So the dude was just like,
So
get your ass whooped.
I'll tell you what I did do. I did this recently, about like last month or so. It was about 4 or 5 young dudes on the train. So one dude paid another dude to use his bike. All right, so apparently the dude didn't get a chance to use the bike but maybe about 15 some seconds, right? And the other dude was like, well, you don't get your money back. Right. You use the bike. Right. And he was like, man, that ain't fair. I only used it for 15 seconds, man. Let me ride it. They was about to cry about the Joan and Buddy. Buddy sat down in the corner and was like, started crying. So what I did was I took some money out my pocket and I gave it to the little man right there in front of them. And I said, y'all know y'all dead ass wrong for that. Why y'all gonna take that man money and then not let the man ride the bike for like 15 seconds? And I was like, if y'all are with him, why y'all even embarrassing him like that? Like, this man ain't got nothing but probably y'all, because it's a bunch of y'all on the next cart right here that'll probably do something to him. So why y'all doing it like that? And as soon as I said that to these jits right here, another OG came up and gave Buddy more money. Then another dude came up. 3 black men gave that young black man some money. And then they just sat there and started listening to us schooling them. And then they chimed in. And they were like, Buddy right there, right. He was like, we just sat there. She said, you wrong. And then so he had to sit there and listen. Right. And now he's asking Buddy for money. And Buddy like, oh, no. And I'm like, no, see what happens? I say, see, we pay it forward, but that's your karma that's doing that. I say, by you doing that young man wrong, he got some blessings going on. But what do you have?
Man, I want to jump on something.
Let me
my bad. Go ahead,
Lance. Real quick. If you, Slick says, if you were born around the 80s, practice inside a lot of stuff. She said you learned a long time ago that you can't involve yourself in other people's arguments. That's what she said.
Yeah.
This is true.
Now,
I want to bring something up while it's fresh on my mind. Now, I don't know if you had it on the sheet. Excuse me, y'all. These nerves are so good.
Right.
But then and now, and I talk about this all the time because it's prevalent seeing so many younger guys in their teens, pretty much late teens, mid teens, old enough to work, standing in front of gas stations, begging for money. I'll never forget. When I turned 15, you had to have a permit to work. When you were 15 here in Atlanta, you had to have a job permit, and I couldn't get one. Man, I was so mad. I wanted to get a job so bad, to have my own money. Wasn't nothing stopping me. You know what I'm saying? From doing some kind of work to get some money until I was able to get a real job. These kids don't work.
So
won't work.
They
no.
Think they don't want to work.
Here go the thing. Who's raising these kids, right? Because if we got nowadays, they be like, the man got to do it all. Ain't no 50-50, right? So if you got a man in your house, he working. And you got a kid, he gonna see that. So he ain't gonna really be begging. But what I have seen and I didn't like, I never liked when parents, I don't care if it's a single dad or a single mom, you take your child out there in them Kroger parking lots and you be asking for money, or you be begging for money, or you ain't got no product to sell or nothing. Excuse me, can I get to this and this so I can get my child this, or so I can get to point A to B? Well, that child right there see that. And you ain't working in front of them. What you think they gonna do when they get a little bit older? They don't want to work.
Now it may. I hate us saying that. I hate when people say that you be a product of your environment, because I think there's a lot of people who be in bad environments who make it out okay. And I happen to be one of them. But I just think that you're right though. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm also giving you another side. It could motivate them not to want to be that person. Like it could be they could grow up and say, man, I don't want to be in this parking lot asking these folk for no money, looking crazy. Let me go get a job, man. Let me go do something else creative to where I can get some money and not have to be in the parking lot having people look at me like I'm crazy.
But don't they got a song, I don't got a job, I am a job, bitch, or something like that? See them city girls and all that? They promote not working. You see what I'm saying?
I think she meant another kind of way job.
Nah, still though. You got to understand, it's still subliminal, the word job, and not wanting to work, and I don't have one. Because when I hear the girls singing it, they saying I ain't got a job, right? Okay. So now my thing is,
let's talk about
a lot of people think they can get it out the street. Think they can get it out, out the mud. But see, once again, some of these jits and some of these folks, the same ones sitting down asking, be the same ones snatching and grabbing, or the same one trying to go like them Kia boys or whatever you want to call them. They lying and waiting on you to go make the money, and then they gonna try to take it from you.
The YNs.
I think it goes back to like when we were growing up. Then we had little stuff that we had to do. We had to cut the grass. We had to take the trash out. Those little chores instilled something in you back then, even if it was minimal stuff. Even if we just go cut the grass. Like my granddaddy would say, go cut the grass, and halfway through he'd be like, I got it, because I was doing it, but it wasn't, they have a specific way they like it done. I wasn't doing it that way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was just the thought of getting some work done, doing something creative.
Quick question, Lab. Since you're just a little bit older than us, do you remember a lot? I ain't talking about 3-card money or pyramid. I think scamming now is like way more prevalent.
I never heard of it until recently.
Schemers and scammers.
I never heard. Like even in Chicago when we used to go down to, excuse the term, this is what we called it back then.
You said what?
The term. Even when I want to let social media know it's not derogatory, but we used to go down to this place called Jewtown in Chicago. Where you go down, you buy shoes, and you get, it was just a nice place to be. Like, it wasn't bad or anything. It was just like, I don't know what you call it, like a flea market, but it was open air. They would have both sides stuff down there, but you never saw any of that stuff down there either. And that was right in the middle of the street. So all the scamming stuff is just something that came around. I think came around more prevalent when computers got into play. Then you got the internet. Then you got social media.
Digital footprint.
Yeah, you got digital footprint that can be tracked and traced now. Think about back then, when you write a check, it takes 4-5 days to go through. Now it goes through right then.
Yeah.
So
this is true.
One thing I've noticed that I don't really care for, that didn't really happen a lot back then that's happening now. Okay, when people are trying to heal and they want privacy or some type of traumatic experiences, back in the day, that's what you did. You fell off the scene somewhere, kept your private shit to yourself, tried to handle your business, tried to heal before you went on. Now folks are trying to get the trauma on record, on you videoing yourself while you going through the trauma that you're going through that should be private. It's like, you know what I'm saying? People want opinions from folks that ain't even in the same state, don't even know you, but you want life-changing experience, like advice from these folks based off of what you doing kind of like in real time, and like go through it first. Damn, like, bro, you ain't even make it to the hospital yet, and you like, hey man, right over there on the corner, this is what just happened to me. I'm leaking.
I call that the I call that the lost.
I don't mean to laugh.
I'm leaking. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, bitch.
No, you good.
Okay.
It be like that, man.
No, I call that the lost and found dog syndrome. I used to have this picture, and I might try to post it tonight, of a poster with a dog, and it's saying lost if called, if found, call this number, and the dog is like hiding behind the picture,
right?
Because they want that attention.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, I get what you're saying.
I think, like, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know what it is, social media, but I mean, I think, you know what I'm saying? Like people, man, be cramming for like so much attention. Like Doe said, they not letting themselves heal the proper way. You know what I mean?
But go through the situation first, bro. You like live and direct with it.
But versus then and now, though, as far as healing, sometimes you can't heal because if you have a funeral, somebody taking video of it, and they posting it, taking pictures. That's why nowadays when you go to funerals, they have signs that say, hey, no pictures, no video, because they don't want you posting. And then you think about versus then and now, as you're trying to heal, you ain't got to still scroll and see that stuff back then. Now, if it's on social media, it's there forever. So every time you think, okay, I feel a little better about it, boom, somebody followed you, and now the video right there. So you don't really have time to heal. That's why we are in such a depressed state as a society now because we just got so much coming at us
Mm-hmm.
that it wears us out. Slick says people will pull their phone out and record you before they'll help you.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. We see it all the time.
back then we fought for freedom. Now we saying free little do-rag and free this and that. Like it's like these people want to go to jail for credit, street
think
cred
so?
or something. Bruh, come on. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I remember they'd be like, oh boy, I'll take that 10 standing on my head and do 3 and come out. Or do, 10, do 5, 10, do
It's a
3,
badge
something
of
similar to that.
honor.
Exactly. And I'm like, how about we do none, bro? I don't want none of that. I don't want to do no time. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not bragging about that.
They don't
Like,
know good criminals don't get caught.
I'm trying to tell you, you looking at one of them. All right, then, okay. Then,
Allegedly.
then we had, let's say, 100 Black Men, NAACP kicking, the 60s movement kicking, nothing but that positive
Power,
forward
yeah.
movement. Now we got Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't doing nothing for nobody.
Nah, they
Not like how them
they kinda
grassroots
reckless.
was.
I
This
think-
shit halfway tainted. You don't even know what you got.
I think the problem that we have now is that we don't have a directional pull as to which way we want to go because we're all so shattered and splintered that you got some that like don't care about Black Power and Black Power movement. They don't care about that. They want to assimilate into what's going on. They want to be a part of that versus back then. You know,
Mhm.
back then we couldn't have. We weren't supposed to have, so we worked harder to get.
Yeah.
Now, they give it to us supposedly. They let us have it supposedly, so we all think that. I see people all the time say on social media, "Where's the racism? Where's the oppression? Y'all out here doing this. Y'all out here buying that. Ain't no racism. Ain't no
Man,
oppression.
please.
But they looking like the usual suspect. You get what I'm saying?
Hey, man, look here, man. If you can't tell what's in your environment, some of that is oppressive. You say what oppression? How about fast food?
Mm-hmm.
That's believe
but
it or
that's
not.
the
You
closed
might not.
mind. That's
You,
the
you, you
assimilation
might
they
not
want.
be thinking on that level. I mean, but
How about
that-
no food? How about food deserts and only liquor stores on the corner?
Hey, that's oppression right
Right.
there.
See
You
what I'm
see what I'm
saying?
saying? We talking about boycott that.
Right.
Boycott some of these Smith and Wesson folks that you getting all your tools and your extendos from, or boycott doing something to the next man that look like you.
Mm-hmm.
That's more important to me than trying to stop $1 billion corporation for what, one goddamn day and you ain't even do nothing. They still back up and running.
Right.
But you got folks in your same environment and neighborhood that you get pissed off at when they don't even have your weapons of destruction, when they don't even have the demise that the devices that help you get demised.
Mm-hmm.
You be mad, oh, y'all done ran out of this, y'all ain't about nothing. Then you come right on back just to spend your money with them when they go get that poison for you.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to boycott that, man. I don't get it.
I think it's twofold with that too. The boycott. Somebody was telling me the other day, and I kind of knew about this. I mean, and I hate that it wasn't made more prevalent. Like during Black History Month, they never really talk about how at a certain point in time, and I'm not a segregation promoter, but we had our own, like literally like our own
Everything.
epicenter, like our own. You could go to a movie theater,
Mm-hmm.
Black owned, a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
Black owned, people who made the clothes, Black owned. I mean, like everything,
Farmers.
but yeah, farmers. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. Until it came to the point to, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what. I guess living conditions more so was the promotion
Right.
for integration.
Right.
But we had our own shit. So
I think it wasn't living conditions because
No.
we were getting to a point to where we were being self-sufficient.
Yep.
yeah.
It was more of infiltration than
Yep.
it was anything.
Mm.
The problem that we have now, they don't like us now versus back then. They didn't. The problem we have now is they don't like us, but they know what we can do. Back then, they didn't like us and they didn't know what we could do. You get what I'm saying? So now they know that if we
They
separate
stole
from them,
what we were doing.
I'm talking about, but they didn't know how far we could take it.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
That's
We
true.
didn't know how much
they
we
know
could-
we would
we could-
outdo them.
They didn't know we could circulate that black dollar in that black neighborhood back then, and now they saying they don't like us, but we can't separate from them because just think about it. Everything that we did back then, music, all that fashion wise, they just came and took it and made it their own. You get what I'm saying? So if they separate from it, where the creativity gonna come from? Where the ideas gonna come from? Where the music gonna come from? Because if we separate, we're gonna have our own music. We're gonna regenerate that stuff to another sound, another sample, another whatever.
But
You
we
get what I'm
had
saying?
our
They
own
know that we
Negro
can do these
leagues
things
and all
now.
that.
Yeah, on sports team,
Right.
Probably way more entertaining than anything. You know what I'm saying that they got
So
going on.
along them lines, then this is what I'm trying to figure out. Cause I remember growing up, you could go through people's yards. They had apple trees, a little cherry tree here and there, something like that. Where's all that at now? Like, don't nobody got no fruits in their yard, no fruit trees in their
Cut 'em
yard like
down.
we used to have.
I don't think you could go through them now either. If they did,
No, but still, I mean, at least have
You
it.
can't.
You could trade. I could trade my, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
muscadines for your apples or something.
Yeah.
And we ain't got to go buy that shit.
I remember in my neighborhood, there was a guy who had a cherry tree on the end of the block. He didn't want us in his yard.
No.
That didn't mean nothing.
Yeah. But the thing is, the fact is that it was something they're growing,
Right.
man. You see what I'm saying? Where is it now?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to figure.
I mean, the first owner, he was okay with us. You know, he was saying, just. But the person who bought the house after he left
Get
didn't
y'all
want us in the
ass out
yard.
my yard.
That didn't mean nothing because we still went in the yard and got the cherries. We just did it on the sneak tip. But I'm saying you right. There are no. I mean, but think about back then. You had a whole neighborhood community too.
Yeah.
The community
So
is not the
Talked about
same
that
as
on
it
the
was
way.
back
Yeah,
then.
we talked about that.
Well,
on the
I
way.
mean, once again, so that's kind of why I'm talking about the then and the now. Because if we get on music, the first thing they'll say, like, let's just be like, hey man, what are the women doing today in music? Like, okay, well, look him in it. All right. So I'm like, okay, you want to look back then, but if it was wrong back then, why would you want it? Why we keep passing down these bad vices and keep passing down this
And making it
negative
worse
energy
and
and
worse and
vibe,
worse as it
and then
goes.
we try to use it as, oh, well, you did it then, so we're gonna do it now. Like, no,
It's
at some
planned
point
now,
you
though.
gotta cut it out. Cut like
Gotta cut
okay,
that
it was
cancer
it's,
out eventually.
yeah. You see what I'm saying?
It's planted now, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
It's that
they
you can
planted.
always reverse something. though.
I think when we were growing up, and it's great because you know me and you debate about music all the time. We had a balance. I mean, it's just a balance. Like now, I don't know anybody who raps, positive.
But they're out there. You gotta
That's what I'm
search
saying.
for it now.
I don't
But
know.
But see, now that would be you not using the web. But now my gripe would be, how come this can't be mainstream? Why do all the talented people with wisdom and some type of message, you got to damn sift through mud to find them? They all in the underground and don't even get pubbed in. I give you an idea. Not necessarily say this dude is extremely like positive with lyrics or nothing like that, but a dude that's talented that you would say that you still kind of got to look for because he ain't on the airways would be Currency.
That's
As
my
far
favorite.
as
That's my favorite rapper,
lyrical
bro.
flow,
That's
you
my
see what I'm
favorite
saying?
rapper.
He really ain't even that
Yeah.
negative, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's my favorite
But
rapper.
you gotta like
Currently
look
my
for
favorite
him.
rapper.
You see what I'm
Currency is my
saying?
favorite rapper.
Notice how they phased out Wiz Khalifa.
He about to come out with something new too.
I hope he do. At least
Yeah.
he wasn't trying to have extendos in his music.
Yeah, no,
You see what
I
I'm saying?
totally agree with that. Well, when we
But
was,
I'm gonna give you one. We talk about music.
Mhm.
When the Shop Boys in here yesterday,
Mhm.
none of their music have cussing in it.
just part of
You
me.
didn't know that, did you? Not one of their songs have cussing in it.
Wow. I would
And
put
Fat
them,
said they did that on purpose, but
Mhm.
none of their music had cussing in it. And we played 3 or 4 of their songs.
I would put
Yeah.
that. I would put that on.
I
a
mean, but
level
that's
of,
kind of
like,
what your aim is, to make a hit with no curse words.
Right.
Like, you know, you want to monetize, and then for those that want people, like I kind of do it because I want your grandma to be able to listen to it, your daughter to be able to listen to it, and if it's something if it's something where it is some cursing in it, it's gonna be some clarity with some comedy to bring it home. But
So hold on, real quick. So saying all that to say, you know, having to sift through the mud. These kids don't have no KRS-One. They don't have anything on that type of level that taught us. I mean, like literally, like learn. You know what I'm saying? You could literally learn Black history from listening to the music.
well, now listen to what, I'm not a fan of his, but Kendrick Lamar would say something.
He does.
So,
I give him
I mean,
that.
I'm not gonna sit up here and throw the whole youth away. There are options, but you gotta find them bitches. I'm trying to tell you, which you shouldn't have to do. I'm gonna piggyback off of that by saying this, and then I'm gonna get into some universal laws. But okay, then you had Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. So you had very few shows to show you what a celebrity's life is like, to bait you to want to have to try to live like these people and live up to some standards that you know you can't. Now, you had VH1 this, you know what I'm saying? Cribs,
Real
that,
Housewives,
all this
real,
stuff,
yeah.
and it's fake, first of all. And now they damn near attacking the celebrities. I wouldn't even want to be one. By the way, I see how they living and how they looking, and they owe anyway on half of this stuff. But the point is then they held high standards. Now motherfuckers are like riffraff. Like I don't want to be you, bro. You damn near a junkie. Like, and where did this bragging about popping pills and taking prescription drugs and things that are sedatives that they can damn near put you up under, like, you know what I'm saying? Tranquil type painkillers and
one of my
things.
homeboys said the radio was no longer censored.
Well, I was gonna say censorship back
The
then
radio's
and
not
now
censored?
it's a little bit different.
Not really.
Really?
Well, it's censored,
Depending on what you listen
but
to.
it's
We
Man,
didn't
I mean-
have Sirius back then. We didn't have, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We didn't
That's
have all
true.
that, you know.
Yeah, we didn't have Mr.
we didn't have
Radio
none of
back
that.
then. We don't play it censored on Restless Radio.
so.
We play all the cussing on Mr. Radio. Maybe I should make it censored.
No.
Hey man,
Don't censor it.
but here's the thing. Okay, back then we could listen to some music that had curse words or whatever. So what makes us be to the point where we can listen to that and not necessarily crash out and do these things? But these generation, they have to one up and do everything that they want to rap about, which is kind of like what we were doing. Man, they weren't doing all that shit. They was talking
Pat said why? Because we had balance back then. We had this side, we had NWA on this side. We had KRS-One and Public Enemy on this side. We had, we had
Too Short on
Too
one
Short
side.
We may have, Eric B. and Rakim on this side. So you got,
But
a
see,
balance.
you
got
talking about,
self-destruction.
hold on. Now, when once that was phased out, you
Right.
talking about the before, like that's like, you call that like the godfathers of hip hop. Like once first of all, KRS-One had Criminal Minded, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
One of my motherfucking favorites, boy. Got myself a Uzi and my brother a 9. Boy,
Right.
what you talking
But
about?
that
That's some real ass shit. That's realer than some of this shit these other people talking about, but it had consequences behind it.
Right. It
You
was
see
the
what I'm saying?
context of a
He went to
story.
jail at the end of that.
Love's
Right.
gonna get you.
Love's gonna get you. And he lost somebody in that story.
Right. That was
And
the
these
consequence of it.
stories, they El Chapo and they don't do no time.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the difference. That's the difference.
They don't
between
talk
then and
about
now.
the consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do one of these universal laws because this kind of can go with then and now. The law of new beginnings.
Mm.
Now this is deep because new beginnings are turning points within your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a new beginning with a religious conversion. You can have a new beginning from a tragedy that you try to have to heal from, and you finally come to grips with it.
Mm-hmm.
New beginnings as far as birth.
Mm-hmm.
New beginnings as far as therapy. You become something new once you shed that old or once you learn from that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have something that's interesting. The law of compensation. That's similar to like karma. But compensation is almost like a due that's already paid, meaning like what you're doing is gonna come back to you. But it's like we can kind of just say how I say, like, okay, if you love and joy. So to be compensated with that, let's say you may have a positive relationship that will come from that because
Okay.
you're a loving, joyous person. But you can also be someone, let's say, if you're a negative person or you do negative deeds, the compensation from that may be you have a problem that you're going to have to solve or resolve because of the decisions that you were making.
Mm-hmm.
That's your compensation, that problem that you have to solve based on, we'll say, the coins, which would be the energy that you put towards that.
Okay.
All right. The last one I got for today is psychometric. And that's kind of interesting because what that is like basically it's influences, is basically you're dealing with matter, and by default, you're going to have an experience or influence with that, be it inanimate or animate.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just say something like dealing with a microwave.
Okay.
Now, that's not necessarily going to influence you, but some people will use it so because they want to make something faster.
Uh-huh.
So pretty much it's just you go towards that when you want to either speed up something
Mhm.
or psychologically now you have been to the point where you're not necessarily depending on that,
Mhm.
but that's now an option.
Okay.
Another one would be, like I say, well, mainly like I was just saying, that would be kind of like I would say what an inanimate object,
Mhm.
but animate objects, which would be like us and things like that. Sometimes
The same matter. Do you think the same matter can occupy the same space at the same time.
That's kind of where they're going with this a little bit. But now we would just say with humans or with people, with races, a lot of us are forced kind of like to interact because of situations. I'll give you one of them. Let's just say designers, brand names. A lot like we don't necessarily have the most expensive brand, do we?
What you mean?
Like, meaning our race.
Well, I guess
when it comes to dressing.
Yeah, well, we did have.
Is there somebody
we did
black
have designer
behind
brands, but they wasn't the most expensive. I think the problem that the context of that is it's what society puts on the brand that makes it the value, I guess. And since we don't necessarily put value in brands that because it could be very valuable brand. It's just that we don't see it that way. So I guess the matter would be the problem is us seeing the brand worth what another more luxurious brand we might consider to be, that's the problem. We absorb that as influential though. Right. Like you be having a lot of people, man, they'll be so influenced to where a brand once that's not even from their own race or whatever. They can't even necessarily afford it. And then like you say, you might come out with something that's actually more durable or sturdy.
They can't pronounce it.
Exactly. They can pronounce yours, so it ain't as extravagant. There you go, Ches. Yeah. All right. With that, I'm gonna lead into the word of the day. And so I went kind of with this one. I like this word. It's magnanimous. Does anybody know what that means? Because I do. Okay, we don't.
Give it to us.
All right. It's basically generous and kind with a courageous like spirit. So a lot of us are magnanimous and don't even know it.
Oh man, I'm glad that's the word of the day. I got something I want to speak towards that on the then and now. And this is gonna ruffle a lot of these females' feathers out here.
Here we go.
Okay,
let's do it.
Now these are not my thoughts. You know what I'm saying, or my opinion.
So you got a disclaimer?
I got a disclaimer, man. You know what I'm saying. These are not my thoughts or opinions that I'm about to stress. I'm just about to ask a simple question. And, people watching, you can answer it. You know what I'm saying? The gentleman in the room, you can answer this question. Then and now. Back then, when did you ever hear couples talking about 50-50?
Oh, man. So, I ain't never heard that. I've never heard of a 50-50.
The discussion wasn't never talked about. Out loud.
No. I basically come from a cloth of a man of the house really want to take care of everything because you want to please everyone in there so no one will have a need for something. And that makes you feel even better because you've satisfied everyone on your own. But realistically, you have seasons and times where you may not always have the money. But my thing is, it's supposed to be, if you're in a marriage or in a commitment, unconditional love, which means now if you can't do it, that other person technically without you even having to ask got your back. But nowadays people, family members and children don't even have their back. So how do you necessarily expect for your spouse to have your back? But like you just said, the answer to that question, I've never heard no 50-50. I've heard of going Dutch back in the day. You see what I'm saying? And I've also heard all these things where like we don't love these hoes and you a simp and all this other stuff back in the day. If you you know what I'm saying?
Now the women, they coming back. They got what's a Brokey song,
Brokey and all that. Scrubs back in the day, ain't it? You saying that you had Tyrone, so it's like I guess we gonna
they getting their lick back.
Yeah, but I mean, we've discussed this numerous times, and I don't know another way to say it, but I don't want to be without. So I'm going to do the best I can to have mine. If you rocking with me, it's the same damn thing. But now, if I come home and I'm like, hey, man, I'm short on this. I don't need you texting your girl like, oh, that man finally he ain't got it. Y'all, he ain't about nothing. No, like, I need you to be like, I got it. And then tell me from time to time, don't spend your hard-earned money on that. I got you.
Yeah, I think a lot of times what's the difference between then and now with the 50-50 thing is that it's just a lot of people are trying to be viral and say something that's not necessarily the case in their own household, but they want to spring that mess on you and your household and have your woman or your man thinking about it and second guessing y'all whole relationship when it's been fine from the beginning. You get what I'm saying? Like back then, people mind their own business.
Basically,
when it came to relationships, you mind your own business. Now you might have your moms or your grandma go over to Betty Ann's house and talk to her about what George doing in the house, and he ain't, you know what I'm saying? But that's as far as it went. Now they knew who not to tell on the block. You know what I'm saying? They knew not to tell Mary Ann because she might tell everybody. But you get what I'm saying? But back then, it was kept close to the vest. But now it's just blurted out all over the place, and everybody wants to be viral. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to be wealthy. We can't live in a society, and I think it's all a part of. I think, to be honest with me, I think it's all a part of the product of trying to break up the black family. To be honest with you, black relationships make them separate us in some kind of way.
Well, one thing I have seen definitely with social media, because this ain't what it was like back in the day, but I think, man, it's a lot of people now, man. They're more food and money driven and popularity driven than they are of knowledge and a skill set to be able to do something with it. Mm-hmm. It's like they want the substances without providing the substance, or you want the materials without having any kind of wisdom or work ethic to get it. You just want to wake up, eat, post something, and be merry about it, and think that the money gonna come through osmosis or something. Or you want to be popular just by existing, rather than maybe being popular by your deeds, or just by a lot of people knowing you, by being in the right places at the right time. Mm-hmm. It's like kind of like what Mitch was saying. What you say, that lost dog shit? Behind the picture, like people just want the attention.
But you know, they have those, Slick says, but social media has you inviting people into your life. I think that the whole, what you was talking about, those, you know, you have people who do that, who influencers, just lifestyle influencers. So basically, they wake up in the morning, turn their camera on, you watch them take a shower, go to the store, they set the camera up, you watch them go to the store, they pick something out, they buy it, they go home, they set it up, they listen to it, and it's not even, it's just their
regular
day.
Shit.
So hold on, a friend of mine, good evening, Miss Ricks. She says that there won't ever be respect in a 50-50 relationship.
From who?
I mean, I don't get that.
I don't get it either. Like, so you have to explain that a little bit. From
because
which
first of all, both putting in the same amount anyway.
Right. Which one won't be respectful? The woman?
Exactly. Yeah.
Miss Ricks, if you're still watching, tap in. Yeah, we definitely
explain that. She can call in too. 678-740-9894.
Yeah,
and she can explain it to us.
That's definitely. I think I kind of might know where she's going with that, but if you tap in, Denisha, if you still watching.
And see, my thing is, first of all, 50-50 is just some bullshit saying. You don't know what okay, how do you know what a person is doing mentally wise with it if they putting in 100%? Because the mental is more important to me damn near than the finance.
A woman won't respect a man who wants to do 50-50.
Some of these women don't have shit, so 50-50 is damn near 100%. They don't even know you bringing in 50.
The wrong woman won't respect
50%. Exactly.
The right woman to respect 50%. And to me, that's great. If I find it wrong when she don't respect 50-50, deuces, I'm good with that. I would say that's divine intervention.
And I'm gonna be honest with you too, Lab. What I've seen, because I've seen a whole bunch of single mothers, a whole bunch of baby mamas out there, and seriously. And they will take their man straight up 50-50 damn near nothing as long as they are loyal to them and faithful.
I will say
don't cheat on them, and they will, man.
I will say this, and the truth don't make it right. There's some truth to what she's saying though.
I ain't saying there's no truth to it. I never said it wasn't truthful. I said it was. That's divine intervention. If you find a woman that doesn't respect 50-50, but I'm not going to blanket that with all women.
But riddle me this. Okay, these same women that want what they want that more if they don't accept 50-50, but if you got a child, how you winning? You got a whole child to take care of, and the man ain't even there to give you nothing on that. Damn. Like that's losing to me.
50-50.
50, you
Fifty
ain't
of-
got a man there to help
50 of-
50-50 with the child, but
50
y'all
of
want
something
somebody
is-
else to do it all.
It's
It's
better
better
than
than
0 or nothing.
That's what I'm trying to tell. Hey,
I hate the term. I just hate the whole 50,
Me
50
too, me
term.
too.
But I'm
I
gonna
hate
tell
it.
you, 50-50 is an illusion and a myth that
Yep.
people put out on social media because generally in a relationship, if a man is in love with that woman, he gonna try to his best to do everything that she needs to do.
trying to tell you.
Because to be honest with you,
Somebody
we
else going to.
always think about competition. And
Somebody
if
else
I
gonna
don't
do
it,
That
regardless
other
if
nigga
you
gonna
say
do
it or
it.
not,
That
we
other-
gonna try our best to make it happen.
Yeah.
Even if we can't make it happen, we're gonna try to
We're gonna
figure out a way
try.
to make
Yeah,
it
and
happen.
we don't want no
So
other dude
it-
to make it
right.
happen for
It's
us.
definitely not no 50-50. It's said, and people say it just blanketly, but to be honest with you, in a committed, loving relationship, the man tries his best to do all.
It's called.
He may not be able, capable, like you said earlier, those he may have a season where it's just not possible.
Yeah.
But on 90% of the guys who's in a relationship that I know that's been loving, they try to make sure they good to go.
It's called what the fuck I can afford. You keep pissing me off, and fuck it, we don't need to be together. Like, because if you're not understanding, and then I'm like, man, I ain't with the pocket watching. You not finna dictate what I'm making and what's gonna go to you. Because guess who made that shit? Me. If you want to get up and go out there and work, guess what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna ask you for your money because you went out there and you earned that
Do
shit.
y'all think back then a woman? I'm just putting.
Yeah, no.
Back then, you think a woman would respect 50-50?
Hell yeah.
We
Women
talk
should
about
respect
then
it
and
now.
now.
Money is money, bruh. Money you ain't gotta work for. Hey, shit.
Yeah, it's but
If-
times and the women are so
different.
So much different now.
Bruh, man, you can never do enough. But look, we were just talking about that though. It's like, when does a brother win, bruh?
You don't.
Like, when do men win?
We don't.
We can't express our feelings. Y'all want everything from us. You see what I'm saying?
Ain't no proper outlets, man.
It
Right,
ain't.
you know what I'm
It
saying?
ain't. It
There's-
ain't like
I put it like I put
we
it
don't
like
win
this.
arguments. We're never right.
It's
If
rough
you-
out here.
Rough out here, fuck
It's
you.
rough out
Hey
here.
man, I'm telling you, if you give them $30 that they didn't ask for, that's not enough. You broke.
Yeah, they need $50 for lunch. Now you
For
get
lunch.
Meanwhile, they ain't
The-
got 30 minutes to eat.
And then they gonna eat the lunch with another nigga.
It's rough, man. Scandalous.
Hey
Slick says,
man.
I don't mind paying for household things, but 70-30, 60-40 type deal, I guess. But
I mean, I ain't putting no percentage on it. I ain't no accounting in this
I-
Hey
relationship.
man, it just I you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I hate 50-50 and you know all of that, man. Just love doctor, just do what's prevalent for
Right.
your household.
what
You
I
know
found
what I'm
what I
saying?
found in my experience with the
Boy, you that
50-50
word prevalent.
or the man trying to pay for everything, what I found, it don't make a difference because that woman still gonna cheat on you regardless.
Keyword,
She say won't
trying.
respect.
Goddamn.
She say won't respect. If you paid 100%, that woman
Yeah.
still gonna crack her legs for
Yep.
a no nothing ass nigga.
Yep.
So it's what difference does
Yeah,
it make?
if you ain't good in the bed or whatever else, man, that money don't mean nothing. She finna go find somebody and then come
Yeah,
back to
because
you
you know
after
what?
done
You
knocked it down.
know what's crazy? No, most of the time, the dude that
The broke dude
the
that
broke
be laying the
dude
plumber's
is the
pipe.
one who wins.
Who
man.
winning.
Yeah,
Right.
You could be trying to do everything
the
you
fit
can.
dude, the dude that go ahead and break her back out, be the one winning.
What my friend say, the big nigga at the club who only security guard every Saturday Sunday is the one winning. Ain't got no
bro.
job besides that, no insurance, no
Nah,
401k.
man, she gotta go
no
pick him
Roth
up, as a matter of
IRA. She
fact.
got to go pick
He the
him up.
one winning,
He the
though.
one winning.
Bring the smoke for him
The
because he ain't
15
got his own.
Nah, I don't want to say 15. The 725 an hour guy is gonna win. Living
So-
at home with his mama.
So, all right, we're gonna take a little left real quick, man, because they like I'm with you, Mitch. On that 50-50 mess, man. But we were talking about this on the way here. What's with this discrediting what people have achieved back then now? Meaning, like, we'll do with sports.
Yeah.
I recall watching these players and be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay, they did this, defensive player of the year, that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm not comparing him to the next generation or the next man saying he wasn't about shit. Taking all the man accolades, breaking down footage. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is with this, y'all? Like, can we just enjoy greatness as it is? Can we enjoy people for what they do? Can we enjoy a career for what it is? And this ain't even got to be sports. Like, we ain't got to always tear somebody down. riddle somebody's
Shit,
accomplishments
it's the
just
funny,
for relevance.
The funny thing about that is, you know, as we were sitting and talking, because you know it's the Jordan LeBron debate is just buck wild,
unalive.
They don't even
Get
play
rid
the
of
same
it.
position.
It's just buck wild,
Yeah.
and you know, I just, you know, and like I remember JJ Redick, he called the old players plumbers.
All
You know,
this
that, like,
other
he was,
mess. Yeah,
he was out
you
there
know.
playing a bunch of plumbers. Okay, but I'm gonna take it even a step further.
Mm-hmm.
We can go music wise.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, and I'm not saying like as far as like I'm a big Janet Jackson fan.
Mm-hmm.
Miss you
If I ever say, oh man, you know, just my preference in her heyday,
Mhm.
give me Janet over Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they gonna
Man,
roast your ass.
I'm telling you, bro, it'll be death threats. It'll be
man.
all kinds of shit
Unalive
going
threats.
on,
Right,
man.
right.
I think unalive threats, man. Like I think well, definitely the media is the one started all this comparison crap with the sports.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man, like you said, back then we just enjoyed
Enjoyed it, man. You enjoyed them for the live instruments
you
back
know what I'm
then.
saying? You
Now
just
it's the
enjoyed
keyboard.
it. Now it's who's better, who's
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of sports,
And verse it.
Yeah.
Just
speaking
about to
of
say,
sports, that
yep,
whole
verse.
playing plumber thing,
Uh-huh.
just in basketball, I think basketball was a harder play back in the day.
Oh, it was.
I think it was a little. Those players were a lot rougher back in the day.
Man, them
Man.
players
That's
were
me. That's
throwing.
my opinion.
Them
That's my
players were
opinion.
squaring up back
The
then, bro.
rules were different.
The rules were different.
So it's
You know,
totally,
I
totally
mean,
different.
Yeah,
You
well, they
get a
weren't
hard
flopping
foul,
back then. They
you
got
get a-
mopped.
You get a hard foul, it wouldn't even be a technical. It'd be just foul.
Yeah,
you,
foul.
you bleed and everything.
Hey,
but
man, you get a hard
they were
foul
just
now.
harder players. They may not have the finesse as the players do now, and you know the
That's what I say.
Hey.
If you took them players from back then and gave them the same opportunities that these players have now, the same like the diets and
Mhm.
the weights and the
Oh
training
boy,
and
they'll
all
be
this stuff,
jumping out the gym.
man, them old players will probably kill these young dudes.
Unalive these young
I'm
dudes.
sorry, I'm sorry.
But this is
Unalive.
one
Golly,
thing
man.
I'm gonna say. 2 words I ain't never heard growing up watching this shit. Load management.
load management.
Yeah.
See what I'm
That's
saying?
whack.
What's
You don't
that?
even know what that is now.
I don't.
That's where the players get to sit out because they think the game ain't important. But you spent your money to go see a superstar. They ain't even injured. They not hurt. They just want to load management and not play because either they already done made the playoffs or this game ain't important to them.
I thought, well, back in the day, it was called keeping them from getting hurt for the playoffs. So you would have.
They didn't even really do that, bro. Like
They didn't do it much, but
in
you did have
football-
players that did that, though.
in football, yeah.
Okay.
Basketball, they out though. You know,
Man, it's the show, man. You know what I'm saying? Like them players wanted to play back then.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm
every
saying.
game,
they
you
damn
coming
near
in
crying
town.
that they can't get out there. Now they crying if you put them in.
They played hurt back in the day.
Hey,
Broke
man,
ankles,
yeah.
Kobe with the finger, the Mamba.
Right, with the
That's
I don't
just
know
like
I don't know about these new people now.
That's why I
these
give
new
props
jits
to my boy, and I wasn't always a big fan, but Kyrie, when he tore his thing the other
started
night,
crying.
he went out there and still shot the shot
2
the free
free throws.
Yeah, man. So different breed, man, different time.
Yeah, man.
What else you got on the sheet?
This new this new breed, man. I don't know, bro. Oh well, I ain't get to my thought of the day. And okay, so the thought of the day would be to compare your old self with the new self or the you now, and make, how can I say, adaptations or improvements as you see necessary. All right. Since I've been hitting that gym, we still on that BBG, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Snacking around, just some fresh cut mangoes. I had some of them Saturday right after the workout. This shit tasted good. I had some other stuff in the cup with it, but I'm gonna say that for the next snacking around. Can't give y'all all the fruits at one time. But yeah, man. So that's what we doing. I'm feeling alive after all that, man. You know, fresh.
So you feel so. Back then,
Mhm.
do you feel you're more energetic or stamina now versus back then before you started that workout?
No. Age is kicking your ass. Back then, I'm working out. I work out in the morning, working out when I get off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ready to go now. Now I can do it again, but it's gonna be minimum sets. Like it's just really something about that, that energy level, bro. Like, and I don't do any supplements. Like I ain't on no creatine. I don't want no caffeine. I don't want no pre-workout. Don't want no post-workout. All I want to do is get in there, hit them weights, and go ahead and eat what I need to be eating.
So you don't want to warm up a little bit or nothing?
Oh, the warm up, bro. The warm up is the sled that you saw me post.
Okay.
That's the warm up and the stretching. Yeah, the warm up is like damn near flipping tires and shit. The
Okay.
warm up damn near make people go home.
Okay.
You be like, damn, is that it after the warm up? No, bro, you got an hour and 30 to go.
Man, it's the recovery for me because I
Exactly.
still actively play basketball and like while I'm out there, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
But
that
once
next
you let
that
down
next
the
day,
muscle relax.
oh man, it be all bad, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I even got in like a little workout in Houston in the hotel, and I'm like, okay, cool, felt great after that. Man, I slept and was sore a little bit. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this ain't life, man. But yeah, man, all of my good habits that I had for a month went to hell in Houston, man. So I gotta get back on track, man.
Which is why,
Yes, sir.
like, I set this up like from Super Bowl to Super Bowl because that's pretty much a year. So now I also set it up where I did the thens today, then and nows, because this is ongoing.
Right.
So the then is up there. So when I post the nows, you actually see
You have
the progress.
22 pack.
something.
Is
something,
it
something.
is there
Python.
well for both of y'all is there something that you look back on then
Mhm.
that you say, man, I've come a long way from a specific thing, inkling, you know what I'm saying, a way you may have been. I'll say for me, man, like I used to not be able to like let somebody have the last word. Like I would
Right.
always have to argue the point until like, like a stare off, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get this, and man, like over the years, man, like you got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's reduced so much stress. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I applaud myself, pat myself on the back.
Let me give you applause.
Yeah,
man.
Appreciate that, man.
Um,
Drop a bomb for me. Yeah, man. I appreciate that.
I've learned to walk away, but it be hard. Like, cause I don't really bother nobody. So I feel like if you coming for me, you gonna get what you looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be worse than what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more of a, did this nigga just say this? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how do I not necessarily go ahead and put this man in place where we're at?
Do like this. Whatever.
It'd be more like, man, like, fuck is wrong with y'all? in
Yeah.
here? And I can't really, like, I can't do that. But I'm getting better with it, man. Like, that's why we exercising, bro.
Yeah. Slick says, are people from Atlanta migrating to Houston? Did you notice that?
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot. I used to live. I lived out there for a little short period of time.
Mhm.
So, but definitely, man. Like, you know what Houston reminds me of? Atlanta before reality TV.
Really?
That's kind of how I was feeling when
Freaknik
I was
Atlanta?
out there. Not necessarily Freaknik, but it was just like I said, and I mean I was only there for Thursday through Sunday morning.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, like everything was just
Chill.
kind of chill. Like the vibe was just, the concert was chill.
Right.
What was
right,
the age group that you was around?
Right.
And that's the thing. It was some people sitting next to me. They were like, couldn't have been more than mid-20s.
So alright,
Singing every Keith Sweat song.
So this you
chilling,
must
all of
this
that.
shit got to be like a Renaissance festival, damn near something like that you went to almost, but just for some cowboy stuff. Cause I'm like
Black Rodeo's been around for a long time.
that. But my thing, so did it attract any of the YNs or?
Man, and like I said, I was only there Thursday.
Right.
Cause I'm like,
through Sunday.
mhm.
And I mean, that would be the, you know what? That's what I was most impressed about.
Mhm.
If they had that at Atlanta,
Mhm.
oh man, the YNs would have been everywhere. I didn't see no Pooh Shiesty mask out there.
Oh,
You know, I didn't see no dudes walking around holding their arms out, doing, you know what I'm saying, all the little signs or whatever these guys be
you
doing.
ain't see no
All
B's
you
and
know
C's
what?
thrown
You
up
know
and
what,
stuff.
man? All of it. And I think the people who were out there with me, because there was a lot of people from Atlanta that were out there, they can attest to this.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't see none of that. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
that's
I'm not
good.
saying like it didn't happen, but and it was a lot of young people out there, because this is like, I'll say like I said, it was 70,000. It was in the arena for the actual rodeo for the Bun B concert. It was
Mm.
like 70,000 people in there, and I'll say 50, because it was Bun B's concert.
Right.
Oh.
50,000 of them, you know what I'm saying? Because this is like something he does every year.
Mhm.
50,000 of those people were black.
Well,
And I didn't, you know, and I watch, you know what I'm saying? Like me, another thing I do, I watch the news when I go out of town a lot. Didn't see nothing happen on the news. None of that.
I was like, boy, that boy Mitch finna go down there and get in the mob time. I was just like, man, hold on, boy. Just don't, before you get up with Jay Prince, before you tap in with Jay Prince, just holler at me real quick. Okay, all right, so, all right.
None of that, brother.
Oh, no, okay. See, now you just been able to tell me about another side of Houston. Then you see what I'm saying?
Man.
Okay. So you did
But
all right,
it was
good. You stayed
cool,
away
man.
from all that, man.
Yeah,
You ain't had no
absolutely.
dice game going on, nothing like that.
No, sir.
Don't ever do no dice out
Trying
there
to make
now.
it out alive, man.
Okay.
It says old Atlanta is wanted so bad. Back then, Atlanta is wanted so bad.
The big A,
Because the now
not the
Atlanta,
little A.
Right, because the now Atlanta has us all word.
This the little A.
It's trash, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if I hadn't had, well, I say this often. Like, I was living in San Francisco when my daughter's mom got pregnant. I wouldn't have even moved back then. She's 10 now. I had no aspirations of coming back to Atlanta. I love my city and I rep it to the fullest, but it's just
Man. Old Atlanta is like collard greens. New Atlanta is like cilantro. I can't do that.
Kale.
Hey,
mustard greens.
We gonna say cilantro. It ain't even no green, but I don't know what this is, man. But somebody done gourmet that bitch up. That's all I can say. We used to be like
I
soul
think it's
food.
the
And,
influence. I think it's a lot that has to do, and I'm an influence, so I'm not. I think it's a lot to do with people moving here.
It does, but I'm tired
I
of
think
blaming
they
it on.
influence
yeah, we
the
can't
area
blame
a lot.
everything on the implants because
I
We
can't
can blame
blame
some of it on
cause-
them because they influence what happens sometimes.
But
If
here
you
go
have
the
enough
thing.
of them, they can influence what's going on.
we used to have so much of a stronghold that y'all would come down here because of what the A
That's
was.
true.
Now it's done been changed. I guess maybe because y'all.
But you know
stayed.
what happens though? Like anything, you old flooded with a certain amount of things, the old stuff gonna float to the top and waste over the barrel, and you gonna have all the new stuff in the bottom.
That's true.
Man, I admit you'll know this. Back then, candy ladies. Back then, you had the house where you can go to. You know what I'm saying? Get you a sandwich, get you ribs, get you some liquor,
Yeah, bootleg.
bootlegs. Now,
Well, we don't need a bootleg no more though.
nah, you don't because of Sundays.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
back
You
then,
still need a
that
sandwich.
you needed that.
Yeah,
But
still
hold
need a
on,
sandwich,
yeah,
sure.
hey, but hold up. That bootleg will give it to you when the stores don't be open.
This is true.
You can get it at 10. You can't get it at 10
Boy,
over
I'm
here.
gonna tell you,
gotta
man.
be
This
like-
this is about to sound like the most alcoholic shit ever. On
9 in the morning, you needed some shit.
on a Sunday morning.
Yes,
I
sir.
have never been more pissed because I wasn't thinking in my mind, and I get all the way to the checkout counter, and they like, "Oh yeah, you can't buy anything before 12:30," and I'd be like,
I'm trying to tell you
"Fuck."
that bootleg though. Skirt.
Yeah,
Hey, let me
yeah.
get a couple.
But
of
you pay
Budweiser.
premium prices at the bootleg. You gotta pay
That
for that
don't matter.
convenience.
Yeah,
You-
man.
whatever.
Yeah.
You get it
Times
when
be
you
worth
want it
it,
though,
yeah.
and you might get you some
Yeah.
ribs and something else to
Yeah.
go.
We had candy lanes, but we didn't have bootleg in Chicago. Because in Chicago, you could buy liquor at any time of the day or any day.
Prohibition.
There was
Damn,
never
this is Bible Belt shit.
there's never a cutoff
Oh
time.
hell, of course you Al Capone up there. Of course.
yeah.
Well, you probably got a barrel stuck somewhere in the basement, man, and
You
made
don't
it
have to. You
yourself.
don't have to. There was no candy lane. We did have candy lane. I used to go to the basement store. Basement store was the place. Get chili bags and all that, but we didn't need a bootleg.
A chili bag.
A
Yeah.
chili bag. What the hell they had y'all with a
Corn
spoon and
chips.
some chip?
Oh, okay.
Boy, I
Chili
finna-
on it.
In a bag.
in a bag,
in,
bro.
in the corn chip bag with a fork.
I done heard
Okay,
of a
okay,
fish
okay.
sandwich in a bag.
Okay, I
man.
can see that. I can
You
see
get what I'm
that.
saying? Like you had the cheap Frito bag.
It's a guy with a food
Well,
truck.
you done put me
He
on to
does-
something.
It's a guy with a food truck who does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
Where
the
he
bag
at?
with the cheap
Yeah.
Cheetos, and you got the
Yeah.
chips. You put it on top.
And they put
Well, you
all
done
the
put
stuff
me
on
on to
top.
something real
Put the
good.
cheese and stuff
Ooh,
on there, sour
boy.
cream, whatever.
Can't
Chili
wait to
bag.
eat.
Chili bag.
Walking with the bag and the plastic.
But how your
fork.
bag didn't get soggy?
Because
You didn't last long enough.
That particular kind of bag, yeah, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
paper bag.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I thought. See, we be brown sandwiching them damn fish
Nah,
sandwiches with
nah,
the
like
grease
that.
coming through the bitch.
No.
Okay, yeah, we do it like that in there. Fish and chips Fridays and shit. We don't do that down here.
We really do. We only ate fish and spaghetti, and that was only on Sundays and stuff. So.
That's another show.
Yeah, see, back here Fish Fridays.
Show time.
They do that shit at Emory now.
Really?
Fish Friday, yeah. I don't eat it, but you know they be having it. I can't do no fried catfish, bro.
I can't do catfish at all.
Man, y'all some suckers.
Some whitings.
can't
You eat them bottom feeders, bro?
I can't eat no
Absolutely.
Hey,
catfish.
man,
Too many
I ain't gonna
bones
lie. I
in
had a catfish
I'll
one time.
wear
That
it
shit
out.
melted in my mouth like a marshmallow. I was like,
I love
Boy.
catfish, man.
wee.
You
I
pick
eat
them
it.
bones up out that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brim,
bread and milk with
crabby,
that
man.
thing.
Out
Be picking your teeth with them bones.
man, them bones don't mean nothing to me.
Back then,
Yeah.
grandma make catfish for you. Get some corn, make some cornbread, some catfish.
Back
eat with their hands.
back then they caught that fish and grandma in that bitch skinning and deboning and dropping it in that fresh grease with that milk and then that damn cornbread to go with the collards, maybe some diced up onions and a tomato on the side, bro. Oh man.
My grandma wasn't that type
shit.
of cook. She wasn't on that type of time.
Oh, mine was on that type of
My
time.
grandma didn't have no. My grandma or my great grandma didn't have no, and they came from Mississippi. They didn't have no family recipes. They didn't really cook at all. They didn't cook at all. Like they really didn't do that.
Got to the shine, got cityfied. Got cityfied.
They do some cooking, but my
only,
mom.
only catching the fish they gonna do it out the frozen food.
Oh man, but yeah, before we start rapping stuff, I gotta ask you this because I'm about to start back watching this. I had stopped in season 2. Did you watch The Shy, or do you? You watched? So you watched all of them.
All of them.
Do you feel like it's a good depiction?
Some of it is. Some of it is over exaggerated.
Yeah, and some of it is sus.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, some of it is
cool.
suspect.
Yeah, don't because I stopped at season 2.
Yeah, but some of it, like when I watch it, I can tell sometimes where they at. When they even when I watch Chicago Fire and Chicago PD, if they out on the street, I can tell you where they at sometimes. It just depends, but stuff has changed a lot. Street names have changed. So, yeah.
Speaking of that, Chicago PD was what I was watching with my pops. And then I was like, man, we ain't gonna watch this episode about 8 times, are we?
That's his show. He like
yeah. Okay. So I had to on demand it and do this and this and this and this. But the running joke was before I got there, he was looking at something on PBS. And so, I mean, I could deal with the Nat King Cole. I was like, oh yeah, we on to something.
Not the Lawrence Welk.
Bruh, no. The DeCossey sisters or something. I don't know what their name is. But I was like, oh no, Dad. No. What we not gonna do, I'm not gonna tell my partners I was over here that weekend watching the DeCossey sisters with you. We're gonna have to change it on something else, bro. You had me when it was the Spinners, and I can do the Nat King Cole.
Right.
I'm not finna do that. Boy, y'all need to look it up. I don't even know who they are. That was my first time hearing it. But when they came out in the turquoise, the pink, and purple like outfits, we got to turn this. Chicago PD it is. So that's it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And hold up, Lil Doc, you got any advice? I know you kind of shot something out earlier today.
This is for the fellas, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop this little jewel on y'all tonight, man. Let me tell you, every woman has 2 men. One that's a fool for her, and one that she's a fool for. Brothers, stay on your job. Stay on your job.
What do we do with that dude that's a fool for her?
They got to, you know what I'm saying? The woman got to answer that.
Hey, bro. As long as she ain't got no contact. But hey, you heard it from Lil Dot. We're going to be back next week. Tune in. Dosed Up. We out.
Yeah. Yeah. Grams up. Leaders up. CC's. Pounds. Close cash, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds up, liters up, grams, get your dosed up, cut this up, host up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the movement, make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk that can't relate. I got to elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in no trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics, politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that true serum hooked directly through your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch it close up. Close up, close up, a close up, grams of it. Tune in, liters of it, close up, pounds of it. Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters up, pounds, get your dosed up, 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 dosed up.